you are learning. For example, you have started with Java. Okay, so you can implement it, or for example, you can make a tic tac toe game or something like that. Okay, and for resume, I would suggest that if you are uh, just keeping one or two projects in the resume, it's enough, but it should be worth. Okay, so let's jump to DevOps opportunities. So, if you want to start your career with DevOps, one thing you should keep in mind that it is not associated with only one or two kind of technologies. You will have to keep your mental state in such a way that you are going to uh, work with multiple technologies. For example, it is so let's explain what is DevOps. It's a kind of mindset. It's between development and operations. Okay, so you can get any of the work between these two. For example, you will be involved to make a CI/CD pipeline, which is if okay, I'll start with the basics. If there is a developer and it is committing any code to the Git, right? It should be tested and deployed on the same day or in on the second day. It is very much agile, and it is not currently the companies are not following the old fashioned manner, like whole of the application will be built and then it will be tested and then it will be deployed. Okay, it is getting tested and deployed every single day. Hello.
Voice is audible.
Yes. So, as I was talking about the CI/CD pipeline, so once the code is committed, then it is tested and then it is deployed. It is the pipeline which we are maintaining, in which all the stage has been created by us, so that it can be tested and deployed the same day. And if there's any feedback or any thing which we want to enhance, we can do it at the same time. So this is what CI/CD is all about. And then, as a DevOps engineer, you are also responsible for maintaining your application. For example, like monitoring and all. If you're, for example, there's any pods in which your application is deployed, so you are only responsible to see if that is healthy enough, or the CPU utilization or the memory utilization, if the pods are healthy and it is able to bear the load of the application. Then to start with some of the projects I will let you know. For example, you should know a cloud platform. For example, AWS, Azure, or GCP. Let's take an example of the AWS. There are many services which AWS provide. For example, EC2 instance, S3 bucket for storage and all. So you can start with a basic project, like you can create a simple application. For example, any web application. You should host it to the EC2 instance. EC2 instance is nothing but a VM sort of thing which AWS provides. So you can host your application to EC2 instance. If it is using any databases or it is communicating to any database, you can create it there as well. There is S3 storage and many more. If you will start exploring, you will get to know there are many services which AWS provides. Okay. Then you have hosted your application. You are using Git. You should always, from now onwards, just go and check what Git is. Please install it, because Git is very much important. If you are going to any development role or testing role or DevOps role, anything, Git is the basic. You will be able to interact with it. So install Git, commit your code to Git. Okay, from there it should be deployed to EC2 instances, and the database with which it should communicate will be also deployed to the AWS. So this is very basic sort of project which you can write in your resume if you want to aspire a DevOps engineer career. And in that only you can explore more of it or go into the advanced levels of it. Like you can incur the observability, you can use Grafana, where you will monitor your application if the deployed application is deployed to EC2 instance, is that healthy or not, or the application is incurring more memory and it is making the application slow. You can also do that. There is services like AWS Lambda, where you can write a piece of code, sort of code, which will trigger on the basis of your event. If you define any event, it will get triggered. You can study the AWS Lambda as well. And then I think for beginner, this thing is enough. So yes, sir, I think I'm done. Is there any question I can take up?
Hey, hi, Tulika. Sandeep here. I thought, very well said. Just one thing I wanted, that if you, since this, all these students will be making multiple projects and all, if you can guide them with the EC2 T2, I think T2 it was, no, which is the lowest cost, yeah, because these people, this will help these people. So
Okay, sure.
yeah.
To start with AWS, AWS provide free account for 1 year on every Gmail ID. So you can go and create an account today. So it offers many free services like EC2 Tier 2, which is very low in configurations. For example, the amount of memory and CPU will be low. So you can start with that. And there are many services which AWS provide for free. So they can explore over there. And one more thing, if you want to seek something in CI/CD, you can also download Jenkins and start with it. Start building your pipeline and start exploring what kind of jobs we can make in Jenkins. But yes, you have to keep in mind that there is no respective one technology which you will learn and you will call yourself as a DevOps engineer. As a DevOps engineer, you should be a broad-minded individual, in which if you get any challenges, any new tool or any new technologies, you will be able to get it. You should also have a good knowledge of Linux commands, because as a day-to-day life, as a day-to-day DevOps engineer, I mostly deal with the logs if any pods get crashed. Okay, pods. Let me explain what pods are. So there is a term called orchestration. Orchestration is all about maintaining, like creating a pod and its scale up and scale down. For example, in today's world, uh, companies are not into maintaining the VMs where their application will be deployed. They are only into that our application should be up every time, irrespective of the traffic to the application. So what they are doing, they are using Kubernetes, for example. If you have heard, Kubernetes is nothing but it provides the orchestration. It's an orchestration tool where the pods are created. You can assume pods as VMs, virtual machines, okay, where all the applications will be deployed. So what these pod does, or the Kubernetes does, it auto scales. For example, there is some sale going on to the application, okay. So obviously the traffic will increase, right? So what it will do, what Kubernetes will do, it will scale up the pods. Okay, it will double the application deployed, so that the application is responsive. It shouldn't slow down or it shouldn't hang. It should be responsive. So it scales up and scales down according to the demand of the customer. So this is what pods are. So as a DevOps engineer, you are responsible to look after the pods. Okay, the security aspects. As security aspect, when you will start exploring AWS now, you will come to know a term called VPC and security groups. So in security groups, we define certain rules which are again related to the security. Okay, so as a DevOps engineer, you are responsible for security, for maintaining the pods, for the monitoring purpose. If the CPU utilization of the pods are okay or not. If it is, for example, if it is going beyond 75%, it should create an alert. that it can anytime go down, right? It can anytime crash or fail. So you should be able to know that as well. So monitoring aspect is one of the uh, uh, DevOps thing. Again, logs. I told you on the Linux system there are application logs which you can see if the pods crash. For example, the pods crash. You want to know the root cause of it. Why the pods crashed. So as a DevOps engineer, this is also one of the job to troubleshoot it. Okay, so I think for a DevOps engineer, you will not you will not get bored, because it's there are various kind of opportunities out there. You can try in any of it. Like you are monitoring, you are seeing the logs. It is not like you are only writing the code and you are deploying every day. No, you are doing, at least you are doing something different. So yes sir, if there's any questions.
Like one question is, what some student want to start a project in cloud computing. What
Okay.
is the requirement?
Is the requirement yes to start for example, if I am deploying some application, so I will deploy it in Mumbai specific. Why? Because it is more closer to me, so the under this, or why we are taking EC, why we are creating EC2 instances, what are the features of the EC2 instances, what else, what all we can do with the EC2 instances. Like EC2 instances offers various kind of operating systems, Windows, Linux, how we are connecting to that VMs, right? So as a beginner they should be familiar with the basic concepts of it.
The questions. Ma'am, can you give some resource to start from for DevOps?
Okay. So for DevOps for the cloud, you can go check the documentation which is provided by AWS. I think it's very good as a beginner. You will be able to understand with it, or you can check some channels as well. There are pretty good courses on Udemy as well. I'll try to list them as well later on. Uh, with the cloud, I think this much is okay. And for the CI/CD part, I think you should start with Jenkins and all. I'll just list the some of the YouTube resources as well, and there are pretty good resources on Udemy. You can go and check that. Or if you want, you can go for some certifications which is provided by AWS. They are also pretty good, and they will add a lot of good things to your resume. It will be a good one to add in your resume. Yes, the certifications. It will definitely help in getting a job.
Okay, thank you, Tulika. Again,
Thank you, sir.
and coming time. Okay,
Yes, sir.
nice talk. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Saurav. बच्चे नहीं है ज्यादा time. So assist me. Next. Two persons are unable to join due to technical problem. Okay, in next session we will definitely continue. Thank you, Sandeep, for joining us.
थैंक यू सो मच सर, लेकिन क्या कॉल नहीं है, हो नॉर्मल हो कुछ भी।
I have a question.
हाँ हाँ बोलो।
How to build connections in LinkedIn?
हाँ गुड,
Because
हाउ
there
टू
are a lot
बिल्ड।
of yes, because there are a lot of people who are trying to connect with the HRs, but how to be different?
Correct. First thing first, make your LinkedIn account, write all those that relevant to you. For example, from study to add based on LinkedIn, suggest where to add. Second, I mean, behind 30 seconds, say then some is but he is friend. More than to understand कोई है that you and then uh, keep don't directly um, एंड द बेस्ट पार्ट इज बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स स्ट्रक्चर नहीं होता है स्टार्टअप्स में। कंपनी own that, and then maybe kind of managing एक वही वही बंदा मैनेजर, वही बंदा तुम्हारा टेक्निकल, so it's easy to crack if they have any openings, and you can
Subhasis, voice.
किसी उनसे यूज कर रहे हो तो you can ask.
Not in any kind. I made a first slide which I am presenting. Hello.
Yeah. Slide is visible.
Okay. Yeah. Can
Just hit your phone for horizontal mode. Okay.
horizontal mode?
Yeah.
Just a minute.
In chat, there is mail ID. Just check.
Hello.
Yes. What's it?
Yes, sir. I sent it just now.
Not received.
It is showing as sent. Not sure. Is it still not received?
It is received.
Okay.
Yes, Subhasis, you can start.
Okay. I am not able to see the screen actually.
Okay, just sharing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Screen is visible? Share the
हाँ सर visible है वो. Okay, so let's start. Can you go to the first slide?
First slide.
Yeah. Okay. So, hi everyone. I am Subhashish Witt. I am currently working in IBM with 3.5 years of experience in endpoint security and identity access management. So, I'm here to give you a few topics or few details about what all projects you can do and how you can do them. So, let's begin. Sorry for wasting so much of everyone's time. I'll start off. If you see the first slide, what can you see in this picture? The left side shows basically the left side represents us, where we are learning so many things. And in the right side is the real world, how everything is getting implemented through the computers and technology. In the middle is a broken bridge, which is what we have to mend, and that is how that is what I will be telling you, how to mend this bridge, how you can bridge the gap between what you are studying and how you can implement it in your life and in your careers, right? So we can move to the next slide. So project, what is a project? A project is like a conclusion of your education, right? It's an opportunity to demonstrate what and all you have learned. You can show off your creativity by doing projects, and you can make a real impact. The best thing what you can do to show what you have learned is by making good projects, right? It will create a platform for us to show our practical knowledge, and we can prove that we are competent enough. So why do we need a project? There are 2 points worth noting here. Okay, so basics of whatever you are doing should be clear, and the understanding of your overall thing should be complete. If you leave gaps, that is where there will be various doubts and you can't do anything about it, right? So that's what by making projects, you not only develop your problem solving skills, you basically have the upper hand, right? Because you are applying them practically. If I take an example, in the US, everybody makes new things. Everybody are publishing new papers. They are experimenting on various things. Nobody is allowed to just copy paste something from here and there and just present it. So if you can try and try and make that a habit for yourself, that will be a very, very good beneficial thing for us. Okay, try to just catch the concept, and even if you're copying some lines from some projects, it doesn't matter. You should understand what you're copying, what is happening in the background, okay, and how and all it translates to the output which you want to do in the end, right? Projects are the best way to build a very strong CV. Okay, so yeah, let's go to the next slide. We'll discuss some topics what we can. Okay, so this is the first topic. The artificial intelligence, you all know it's ruling the world right now, right? There are various applications of artificial intelligence. I have just named a few. Okay, education. If you see, if you have kids at your home, आपको दिखेगा कि उनके पास एक उनके स्टडी मटेरियल्स में बहुत सारे गेम मोड्स डिजाइंड होते हैं, ठीक है, जो कि उनको फन के तरीके से समझाते हैं. तो उस पे क्या होता है कि वी कैन नॉट ओनली एंगेज बट वी कैन ऑल्सो एंश्योर दैट द कॉन्सेप्ट्स आर ऑल क्लियर while having fun. Okay, so if we look at e-commerce, there are AI chatbots which are providing customer support. You go to any website, you will see a chatbot pop up and ask you questions like how can I help you and something like that. So they are of great help now because many customers have basic questions and they can be just answered by the chatbot itself. Okay, so and also if you see, suppose you're buying a product, you'll see a lot of reviews are there, right? So out of 10, 9 people will be just going through the reviews first before they are placing any order. Okay, and if we come to robotics, natural language processing, you all will be having a subject, right? So that plays the most important role in robotics. They can interpret the command what the human being is instructing, and they can like for example, a robot, if it's trying to identify an object, they can if it's a non-living object, they cannot interact with it, and if it's a living object, they can communicate with it like that. It helps in robotics as well. So for GPS and navigations, you might have used, everyone uses Google Maps whenever we are traveling. So when you are driving a car, you can just use the hands-free feature. You can just give voice commands and the maps will respond accordingly, right? So you don't have to take any stress. You can drive seamlessly. Another thing is, you might have noticed that there is a feature called intelligent routing in Google Maps. So based on the user's pattern, whatever which we are using, you can they will suggest the same route again and again. Okay, so GPS and all, they all work in that direction only. In healthcare also, there is patient is being monitored using AI nowadays, to reduce human labor. During the surgeries also, there are a lot of assistance that is done through the AI itself. And in the human resource, we all are aware of this. Hiring processes are now done online. AI is used to detect any kind of like malpractice behavior. Someone is trying to, through the voice and through the facial expressions, they can all judge what the candidate is trying to do. And social media, etc. There are a lot of applications. I just named a few. If you want to think a few projects on AI, you can just I have mentioned a few. Like first is AI-based medical assistant chatbot. They are pretty basic projects, but if you do them, you'll get a lot of concepts will be clear. Okay, so AI-based medical assistant chatbots, customer support chatbot, AI-based spam comment detection. If someone has a YouTube channel, there are a lot of spam comments. You can just use an algorithm to filter out these spam comments. Disease prediction, dog and cat classification based on their images you can take. Okay, next word prediction. We are chatting in WhatsApp or Facebook or wherever. When we are just using one, we are just writing a word and the next word pops out. So that is also done using AI only. So there are a lot of projects which you can do. I have named a few. Next word prediction, genre modification of genre identification of a song. This is a really interesting project. If you just Google it, you will receive everything. See, whiskey classification, you guys will say that we can just taste and do it, but no, we can just create algorithms for them. So if you try to do any of these projects, you'll see that you will gain a lot of knowledge on this domain. Okay, academic projects, if you want, there is a face recognition project which you can try for your in your final years. So these are the projects which you can try from AI. I have only named a few. If you go out and Google, you will find a lot of projects. You can do anything, but the point in any of the projects is you have to understand what is happening in the background. Only when you understand what is happening in the background, you'll be able to catch the things very quickly. Okay, so we can move to the next slide. So machine learning. So AI and ML are the two big brothers of today, right? So there are a lot of applications of machine learning as well. I have again named a few so that I am giving the application so that you can connect with them throughout whatever you look around. You will find the applications of AI, artificial intelligence and machine learning, right? Image recognition. If you say, suppose you upload a photo in your Facebook, you'll see automatically you'll get a tagging suggestion, right? How is that achieved? Using image recognition. Speech recognition. Hey Google, you are giving voice commands. It's speech recognition, nothing else. Traffic prediction is there. So Google Maps and all, they'll just get the real-time location of the vehicle from the Google Map, and then based on the previous days, how much time has been taken, you can just find out the average traffic. Okay, so that is how Google Maps works actually. And product recommendation. Suppose you are shopping for a water bottle. The next moment you close it and you start working on something else, you'll find an Amazon ad for the same, right? So how does that happen? That is product recommendation. Based on what you are searching, you are getting a relevant ad. You'll never find an ad which you have not interested in. Whatever you are surfing, based on the data you input, you are getting Amazon ads for the same. That is nothing but product recommendation. The machine is trained in such a way so that based on your search result, they can display the relevant ads. Okay. Suppose you are watching a horror movie on Netflix. As soon as you reach the end of the movie, you will see suggestions, similar type of horror movies which you might like. So all those are done by machine learning only. Email and malware filtering, email spam and malware filtering. That is self-explanatory, pretty. Based on the content, the emails can be filtered, right? So VPS, virtual person assistant, Google Assistant is there, Alexa, Cortana. And even in the stock market, you can do the prediction for the stock market, like trends. That is also can be achieved using machine learning, although that is not too accurate, but they have already achieved a lot in stock market as well. So if you consider the projects that you can do, I have mentioned some simple interesting projects. Sign language translator using machine learning. You'll find lots of videos to do, but you have to understand how to start. Try to do it yourself. Sign language translator is there. Calories burned prediction. In every smartwatch, in every mobile, you'll find now calories burned prediction. Then live math score. This is something which is really interesting. If you attempt it, you'll be what I'll say. It's like a different approach. Okay, live math score prediction. This is a different type of projects. You'll not see a lot of students doing this type of projects. Okay, Gmail smart reply. Suppose you get an important mail, you'll automatically get the suggested response. How is that done? All those things are you can try them and see what is the background code of that, so that you can do similar things. You can understand this in a very small times. Okay, so once you do the basic level, if you are done, you will get some intermediate also, but don't focus on them too much. I just mentioned them. Dog breed classification, detecting COVID-19 from X-ray images, age detection. These are all little higher level projects. But if you focus on the ones that are mentioned for core understanding, it's easy, but you can do it. If you want academic projects, they are also mentioned. Recommendation systems. I did recommendation systems during my time. It can be movie recommendation, product recommendation. They all work in the same. There is handwritten digit recognition. I have done this also. Credit card fraud detection. These are all most popular projects from machine learning. You can do all of any of them during your academics, right? Yeah, we can move to the next slide. IoT is another very hot topic right now. We all know what IoT is. Controlling everything is controlled through our smartphone or smartwatch, etc. So, if you want to do IoT projects, I have listed a few: air quality monitoring system, wrong posture. This is a very important thing which we need to consider. We are sitting in front of the laptop all the time, so this is a very important project. These are projects which are little, different from others. You'll get special attention if you attempt these type of projects. They are real world problems, but if you are able to do them successful, you'll get your CV will get real boost. Okay, see, smartphone based home automation system. These are very very popular. They are not very easy, but they'll take time to do. Smartphone based home automation system, AC control, smart door lock security system. Suppose you're outside and someone breaks the door, you can get the notification on your phone or somewhere else. Gas level detection in a cylinder, what is the level of the gas? All that can be achieved through IoT. So these projects, you can just attempt any one of them if you are interested in IoT. So apart from this, Java and Python, Rahul sir would have explained all of this. I'll still just I have given a few examples. The first one is a very basic level project. It's a very small project. It will hardly take much time. You can just try doing it today itself. A country lookup using IP address in Java, based on the IP address, understanding the country. So, and rest all you already probably have started doing: student management system, library management system, hotel management system, online shopping project, movie ticket booking. All of them are, try at least one of them from all these lists. Okay, it is very very mandatory. These are very mandatory things which I am in Python also. You can create a lot of games. Okay, there is rock paper scissors, tic tac toe, 2048 games, flames, number guessing, word guessing. There are a lot of games. You Google any game, you'll and if you try to understand the code, but try to do it yourself. Okay, understand which are the functions which are being used and how they are being implemented, what is happening in the background. As I said, try to make one game. Let me complete. I'll just tell you how many projects you can do in all. Okay, then there is a simple desktop notification that can also be done using Python. They are very interesting projects. You'll get a small news notification, for example. Very trending news is there. You can just receive the notification for it in your desktop. Then countdown timer, simple countdown timer, password generator, birthday bot, junk file organizer using Python. This is a very special one. I made this myself. Junk file organizer. It's a real world problem again. You open any desktop, every computer, if you open the desktop, you'll see a lot of icons. So now, after a few years, it becomes crowded. The desktop becomes completely crowded, right? So this is a simple sorting project where all the audio files are in a audio folder, the video files are in a video folder, and the code. Suppose there are some Python codes, they are in a Python folder, some Java codes, they are in Java folder. So based on the file name extension, we can just filter out what is this file about, and we can just put it into the respective folder. What will it do? It will just help us to sort all the things in a flash. You execute the program, it just sorts it. So they are all very simple projects. You can include all of this in your CV. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. Okay. Before answering this question, I'll just tell you how many projects we can do. So let's go to the starting slide of AI. Yeah, from here you can just attempt any one project if you want. Okay. Try to do one or two projects in the domain of AI and machine learning. So that will give you a big boost. Okay. If you see the topics here, or if you go to the next page, you'll see a lot of topics from machine learning. You can take the screenshots if you want, or if you Google, you'll get all these details anywhere. Okay. So just try to do a project on artificial intelligence, on machine learning. Okay, that is one big project which you have done. Can you go to the third slide, next, yeah, and try to do one project from the left hand side of Java, library management, student management. Do at least two. You should do, I'd say. And in Python, the Python projects hardly take time. They will be done in a very short duration. So you can do 5, 6, 7, 8 projects from Python. So that will give you a lot of understanding on Python also. So yeah, Python is also very simple, and Python also helps in a lot of ways. So in all, you can do these many projects. You can Google, if you have any different interest, you can just Google projects for the same domain. They'll just appear. You can just understand the code and proceed. Okay, so this is how you can do the projects. Now let's go to the next slide. Yeah, so how did I get a job? I did not do anything special. I was just consistent with whatever I did. I was honest to myself. That's what. Whatever you're doing, try to understand. Even if you copy, you should understand the entire process so that you can do it on your own. After you have copied, you should be able to do it on your own whenever asked. Okay. I'll give you a simple example. Look in your phone. You have a lot of applications. Each application works on a different technology. Try to understand how the application was made. If you get the understanding, if you can start thinking, try to make something similar. WhatsApp Messenger, Facebook, any application, even small games that you play, they have all been made by someone, right? Try to think how they have been made, so you can attempt similar types of projects. If you just do a few projects, that is the biggest way to flex your CV. Okay, if you have a CV filled with few projects, don't lie in the CV. Be honest, because if you lie in the CV, it's going to be found out in a second. The interviewer will ask one question. If you are not able to answer properly, they'll understand that whatever you have written is not correct. So try to put whatever you have done. Try to be honest, and that's what. That should be enough. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you maintain a whatever CGPA is required, everyone has a different CGPA, right? So if you are able to maintain a good CGPA, you automatically qualify for a lot of placements. If not, then there are limited chances, but still, it's not impossible. The most important thing is projects should be there in your CV. At the end, if there are one or two projects, everybody is doing one or two projects. If you are the topics which I have mentioned in the slides, they are a little different from what we are doing, from what everyone is doing. So try to Google according to your domain and just do the same in the. You can just try it one by one. Okay. So yeah, that's it. We can go to the final slide. Yeah, that's it.
Audience side, any question?
Hello, sir. So can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. I'm Sadhna. I am from 7th semester. So we have to submit a project, mini project in this sense. So the domain AIML, all those projects that you covered now. So I am interested in AIML, and I don't have any prerequisites, only some basic knowledge about AI. But
Okay.
I want to do a project on that. For example, credit card fraud detection. I don't have any prerequisite, but I want to build that one. So, what is your advice for that? Whether I should do that or I should do some other projects? For example, Java project. I have already done student management system using Python. So what is
Okay.
your advice?
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, I am no sir. I am just a few years senior to you. You can. It's not. It's not like that. If you want me to advise on ML, AI, ML projects, you can just. I told you right. You are just one Google away from getting any information you want. When I did handwritten digit recognition, or the projects which I had zero knowledge. Okay, so even if you don't have much knowledge, it's no problem. You can just like, for example, you mentioned credit card fraud detection. You can just Google it. You will see how to start. Don't directly see the code. See how to start. What and all you need for that. Which are the libraries? What will be required? How you can begin the prerequisites? What are there? First, gain that knowledge. That is how you start anything, right? The simple general. If you Google credit card fraud detection, you'll see how what are the libraries they are requiring, how they are starting, which are the technologies used, which are the algorithms from different areas which will be required. Deep learning, whatever is required, you can just go through it. Spend some time studying that. You'll slowly be able to understand what and all is happening in background. Okay. And regarding the specific project, you can do whichever feels good according to you. If you have interest in AIML, that is a very good way to if you have done projects in AI and ML, if you mention them in your CV, there is a high chance that many interviewers will be interested. So yeah, you can do it. Even to others, I would say, who are not that much interested in AI ML, you can try once. You can try to get into something basic projects. If you just Google basic projects from artificial intelligence, machine learning, you'll get a lot of projects. If you do basic projects, no, even if you mention those in your CV, that is a big boost. I can guarantee you there are a lot of people who are not doing projects on AI ML because they do not understand the concept. Just like Sadhna, there are many people who are not much aware of what is happening. You can just Google and you can just start studying, and side by side you can just advance through your projects. That's it. It will be done before you realize also.
Thank you, sir. Sir, another question, sir. Sir, you are in IBM, right?
Yes.
Sir, how to get into IBM? It's for a fresher.
It's not company specific. When I was preparing for interviews, first I got placed in TCS. No, first was not TCS. First, as far as I remember, first was Vedantu. Then it was TCS. Then it was CSM. So at the last, I got in IBM. So out of these four, I felt IBM was a better choice, so I went for IBM. But don't be like, don't think of a name in your mind. Get whatever, like take whatever you're getting. Just keep on appearing in interviews. Okay. The biggest mistake which so many people from my batch made was they got one interview, they stopped. That's it. They didn't attend any more interviews. But I got, even after getting placed, I went through all the interviews so as to have a better two choices. I can understand which is a better option for me, and accordingly I can, go into whatever I feel like, right? So try to get interviews. Like my biggest weakness was interviews only. I used to clear the other rounds, but I used to get stuck in interviews. So that's what I did. That's what how I overcame. I went through a lot of interviews. There were so many interviews that went horrible for me, but if you just get the experience again and again, you'll learn a lot of things. So yeah, that's it. Don't keep a particular name. Go for if you. I can almost guarantee you, if you do a few projects from whatever I mentioned, you'll definitely get a good placement. It's my guarantee.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Any other question? Parmakant? Any question? Varsha?
Hello, sir.
Any questions? Because you are...
Hello, sir. I'm Ramakant. I want to ask a question that I am doing a project in WebDev. So after doing the project, I would continue the WebDev or try some other fields.
Subhasis.
Hello.
One question is coming from...
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah. I didn't catch it. Can you repeat again?
So I am doing a project in web development.
Okay.
So will I continue to gain more experience in web development, or I will switch some other things like I will try some other things like AIML or anything else?
Okay. Web development is also a very, very solid topic. I did not mention it here, but web development is also a very important topic. What is the project you are doing?
It's a doctor appointment app.
Okay. Yeah, it's a very, very good project. It's a very it's a good project. You can, once you complete it, try it. Did you do any Java projects or Python projects?
No, sir, I'm using JavaScript and React.
Okay, but I think you should also try Java projects. I would say to everyone that Java projects and Python projects should be mandatory in your CV. Try to you are good with web development, it seems. You can, once you have completed this, you can try. You should definitely try to complete, student management system or whatever is feels right according to you. You should try to attempt one of the Java projects and a few of Python projects. It will take hardly 1 week to learn the basic Python. And I'll just give you a basic idea. It will take hardly 7 days. Okay, I learned it in the basic. If you learn the basic Python in 7 to 10 days, you will be able to do projects in Python. Somebody who knows nothing about Python can learn Python in 7 days. Okay, and then you'll be able to solve basic problems in Python. The games which I mentioned, try to do one game. Everybody, this is for everybody. Try to do one game in Python. Rock, paper, scissors, tic tac toe code. Python code is there for everything. Try to understand the code. Try to do it yourself. That is my recommendation to everyone. So that's the answer for your question. After web development, you can just attempt one Java project and a couple of Python projects. that will do see your doctor app is already a good point for your CV. Okay, if you include a couple of other points as well, then you're having a very good chance to go to the next step.
So can I try like integrating some AI things like document scanning, like anything else? How much time I will take to integrate AI in the project?
If you want to include AI or machine learning in your project, it will take little time. So depends on how much you have progressed in this project. If you want, you can go ahead with including AI ML also. But what I would suggest is mandatorily try to finish one or two Java projects and Python projects, and along with that, have a project ready with your major domain. Like for you, it's web development. For Sadhana, it is machine learning. Similarly, have one or two big projects which you have done, and then according with that, you should have Java projects and Python projects in your CV. So the interviewer will see the candidate knows Java. He is so confident in Java, he can make a project in Java, and he has done in Python as well. So according to that, he knows web development as well. So you have multiple areas where you can be selected. So accordingly, there is a very good chance that you can get hired.
Okay, sir, I will definitely do that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Last person is not available because of technical issue. Right? Thank you, Subhasis. A nice talk.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity. Unfortunately, I messed up with the computer, but hope I.
Talk is fantastic. Sandeep is also there. Sandeep, thank you, Tulika, and thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye bye.
Yeah, all the best, everyone. Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.